In this editorial, we are going to cover the detailed peace pact with ULFA that recently concluded by the Indian government and the ULFA, that is United Liberation Front of Assam. So we all are going to discuss from the basics that what is this association and what were their demands and what is the demands getting fulfilled by the government. So it will be like bonus for you that will be helping you to address all the doubts related to this peace pact. So stay with us and let's start the discussion. So when we talk about this peace pact, this is historical peace pact, we can say, for the peace and prosperity of the northeast, specifically to the Assam state. Why? Because Assam had faced numerous insurgency and violence and killings because of the insurgency activities promoted by these associations. So from 1979 there was killings, there was lack of development progress because of these type of hurdles. And now time has come, and with proper negotiations with this organization, there can be the prevail of peace as well as security, and apart from this, development and progress, because we know that the northeastern states are lacking in development. Why? Because these type of insurgency extremities were happening. And also, why this activity happens, we need to understand that these regions are abode of tribals and aboriginals. They want to prevent their culture, they want to prevent their traditions. They do not want outsiders to come here to disturb their culture, and that's why, to protect their culture tradition, there was numerous activities, violence was there. And now there is important development in this sector that will ensure peace as well. So let's understand in great detail what is this peace pact. First of all, we know the context. So recently, the Union Ministry of Home Affairs, the Assam government, and the pro-talks faction. Why this is pro-talks faction? Because there is two faction of the ULFA, that is United Liberation Front Assam. The one faction tries to talks with the government, the other faction do not want talks with the government. Okay, so the pro talks faction of the ULFA signed memorandum of settlement that will ensure peace. And in this peace agreement or the peace pact, this faction surrendered. Okay, and they have agreed to surrender their arms and ammunitions, vacate their camps, join the mainstream society, and they will engage in the peaceful democratic process. They will participate in elections, they will vote as well. Okay, so that will ensure peace, that will ensure development, that will ensure prosperity. So that is the main thing. And apart from that, the government also promised that whatever the demands which was proposed by this faction, the government is going to fulfill their demands in a time bound manner. Okay, and there will be a committee which would be formed for the monitoring of the demands. Okay, so why these type of negotiations is happening? So as to assure this faction that we are caring for you, and you have to just ensure peace and progress for this region. Okay, so there is a fruitful negotiations, and these negotiations were going on since 1979. Okay, but there was if and buts. Now this if and buts got removed, and there is the conclusion of peace agreement. That is one thing, and we should understand. So let's understand what is ULFA. Okay, what is ULFA? That is your like United Liberation Front of Assam. So this ULFA came into existence from all Assam Student Union anti-immigrant agitation. Try to understand it, all Assam Student Union Anti-Immigrant Agitation. So in 1979 there was the beginning of agitation. Okay, why this agitation was? Because they wanted, their demand was like sovereign state for the some people and via armed struggle. So directly these associations were challenging the Indian government and the Indian sovereignty. Okay, but why they were demanding like this? Because of the intrusion of the outsiders and affecting their indigenous culture and all of that. We all are going to discuss various regions. So here a group of radical thinkers led by Bhimkant Burgohan, Arvind Rajkhova, try to remember this name, and also Paresh Barua. So these were the main leaders that were demanding the separation. Okay, so definitely government will be like responding. And what were their approach? Their approach were violent. Okay, initially they started as a group association to help the needy people so that they can be prevented from government scanner. Okay, but later it started armed struggle against the Indian government, challenging the Indian government. So this followed the violent approach, kidnapping, extortions, executions, bomb blasts. So this increased the problems of insurgency, disturbances, challenging to the peace, prosperity of the northeast. And that's why these all are one of the reasons why northeastern states are less developed, are backward. Okay, and the series of disturbances and the violent approach was going on, and in 1990 it was at its peak. And that time ULFA considered itself as an extension of the government, like ULFA is treating themselves as a government. Okay, so this challenged the Indian authority, this challenged the Indian sovereignty, and hence government have to take the action. So in 1990 the central government launched Operation Bajrang to tackle the growing violence, and that led to arrest over 1200 ULFA insurgents, and many more actions were done like destroying their camps and many more things. And then Assam was declared as disturbed area, president rule was imposed, and the Armed Forces Special Powers Act was also invoked, that give the special power to the armed forces for even killing based on suspicion as well. So these were the things, and this led to the disturbances in this region. Okay, so when we talk about the reasons for the rise of the ULFA, so first of all, the strong sense of identity. They didn't wanted the people, the associated members didn't wanted to have an outsiders incursion into their region, into their territory. They thought that this will affect their indigenous traditions, cultures. Okay, just like any tribal community or the groups thing. And apart from that there was influx of migrants. Remember the Bangladesh liberation war in 1971? This caused many factors that led to influx of migrants. Okay, and remember the location of Assam, like they are bordering with the Bangladesh as well. So that is one thing. And apart from that, insecurity among the indigenous people since partition, because we have the people from different states or the region entering into the Assam. So there was also one of the suspicion, and that's why Assam Accord was signed between the government and the association. Okay, so that is one thing. And apart from that, the political factors, like that time the government was Assam Gun Parishad. Okay, but this government remained passive towards ULFA. Even they knew that the problems caused by the ULFA is rising, the terrorist activity is rising, but this government was not interfering to like to take action. And what we know here, that many ministers in that time were like linked to this ULFA groups as well. it was in that scenario. Okay, then we have the Bangladesh Liberation War. We have already seen that by this liberation war there was illegal immigration towards India as well. Okay, and there was external support training by ISI, like the terrorist tactics. They try to train these groups apart from counterintelligence, disinformation, and use of weapons as well. And also there was issue of illegal passport, use of religious institutions to put arms and ammunition, to build resting camps. So these were the things that was going on. Okay, and this disturbed the region overall. This affected the region overall. So slowly the path towards peace started when this organization started to talks with the government, started putting their demands and conditions, so that if their demand gets fulfilled, these group will like eliminate their strategy. Okay, so in 2005 ULFA formed a 11 member people's consultative group, and with this group there was about 3 rounds of talks or the negotiations, but that time no outcome was there. Then in 2008 some ULFA commanders like Arvind Rajkhova, they again started for the peace talks with the government. But here you have to understand that this group led by the Arvind Rajkhova, they wanted to have a peace talks, but there was another member led by the Paresh Barua who opposed to talks and was expelled from Rajkhova output. And then this ULFA was split into two groups, one who wanted peace talks with the government and the another who do not wanted the peace talks with the government. So the Arvind Rajkhova or the Rajkhova faction started peace talks, and this Paresh Barua faction, they do not join the peace talks or any of the negotiation. And then in 2012 the pro talk faction, that is the Rajkhova faction, they submitted a 12-point charter of demands to the central government, which was finally responded in 2023, and that's why we are seeing the peace accord which is getting signed between ULFA, the central government, and the Assam government. Okay, so a round of discussions between Rajkhova faction and the center was followed, culminating in the tripartite peace. And here there is an important provision that 97 out of 126 assembly seats in Assam would be reserved for the indigenous people, and also if there is a future delimitation exercise to delimit the constituency, so it will also follow this principle, that means giving more recognition to the indigenous people. Okay, that's why the pro talks ULFA faction, they agreed for the peace talks. So what's the significance of this agreement? It will ensure peace in Assam, because since 1979 there was death, killings, violence, insurgency, disturbances. Okay, and you should understand like about 10,000 lives was lost in these type of issue. Okay, and now AFSPA, this Armed Forces Special Powers Act provisions has been lifted from 85% of Assams. So that is also a big success. And why this has been lifted? Because the disturbances or the insurgency related cases is reducing. So definitely it will also ensure peace. It will also ensure a stability. And apart from that, there is the beginning or the success of democratic process to be coming in this region, because these factions who have surrendered will participate in the election process. So that is also a good point. And apart from that, this also showcases the political will and implementation, and also the vision of insurgency free northeast, because this prevents the northeast from development, from progress, from prosperity. Okay, and here violent groups surrendered, about 9,000 cadets have surrendered on record. So that is also a huge success. Okay, so these all will be participating and getting included in the mainstream society. Okay, so that will enhance the peace. And apart from that, there will be the progress, development, investment. Okay, many companies will be coming, because when we talk about the economic progress, it will be based on whether the region is stable or not. And if the region is not stable, why any company will be trying to establish, will be trying to invest? So that is one question mark. And hence, if there is a stability in some, then company will come, jobs will come, and there will be boost up of the youth employment. That is also a very significant thing. And there is a talk about 1.5 lakh crore investment to be getting in Assam. Okay, but there are challenges remain, like there is supporting links of ULFA and the associated members with the other insurgent outfits. So maybe they can like derail this peace progress. Okay, and also there are insurgent outfits in Myanmar and associated neighboring country. Okay, so this may have influence again. And there is an incomplete piece, like other faction of Ulfa led by Paresh Barua has not joined, has not participated. So maybe this faction can promote disturbances or the insurgency, because there is the split of the faction. Okay, and there is cross border existence of the insurgents, like camps in Myanmar, Bangladesh, Bhutan, and they can be act as launch pad for the cross border operation and insurgency. So the time will tell whether there will be stability or not, but we can see that this peace pact is a big achievement for the peace and prosperity of the Assam and the northeastern state. Okay, and when we talk about way forward, so the government and all other stakeholders have to fulfill the promise, and there should be complete process based on trust and reconciliation. Okay, so the trust and reconciliation should be there, so that the government should ensure that we are caring for them. Okay, and in response they will be caring for us as well, and ensure continued monitoring and all parties adhere to the commitment as well. And there should be complete integration and assimilation, where the surrendered group should have the rehabilitation programs, vocational training, so that they can get a job, the way of earning income, livelihood. Okay, so that they should be fully integrated into the mainstream society without fear. Okay, and socio-economic assistance should also be given. So that is the end of the session, friends. Hope you enjoyed, hope you understood this issue in great detail. Now we have the question session for you, and try to pause the video and solve the question and give your answer in the chat box. It will be very good thing. Okay, you will be practicing because prelims is approaching. So thank you, friends, thank you very much for participating in the discussion. Have a nice day.